Hi guys, welcome back. In the previous session we discussed how to locate elements in my application. Today we'll get started with the basics of Selenium. Before getting started with Selenium, I want to give you heads up that you need to have Java installed on your machine. There are a number of videos available online which help you to install Java and set environment variables if you're using a Windows machine. So make sure Java is correctly installed in your machine. I use Eclipse to run my Java programs. Eclipse is an interface where you write your programs and execute them. So I have Eclipse already loaded in my machine. Today let us see what the requirement is. Requirement 1 is to open a browser and hit URL. So we are just automating this part, and this is the basic step that we need to do before getting started and getting deeper into the automation concept. So let us today open a browser and hit the URL, whatever you know site you want to go. Just try to open it, automate it in such a way that you're not doing anything, but your program will take you to the navigate you to the page whatever you want. So for that I'm opening Eclipse. This is how Eclipse looks like. This is the Eclipse workspace where you create project. I come here to file, new, Java project, and remember Selenium can be written in any language, like you can use Ruby, you can use Python. I use Java to write it because find it very user friendly. So choose the project name, for example automation basics, and then I say next and finish. If you see, my automation basic project is added here, the blue highlighted one. So I'll click here and say create a new package. Package is a set of collection of classes. I'll tell you what a class is. Think of class as a test case. So number of test cases together makes a test suite. So for now, imagine your package is nothing but a test suite. So if you are in you will be working in any project, right? Like, if as a QA engineer, you will be working for a project. So project is on the higher level, and you will be working for a release, okay, or a kind of like sprint. Think that as your package. Each sprint contains number of requirements. Okay, think each requirement as a class or a test case. So remember the hierarchy: project, package. Project is on the higher level, package is collection of number of test cases, and inside the package is where you have your list of test cases. So I create package now called as basic automation tests, and then I click on finish. If you see this, inside my automation basics is the package basic automation tests. Inside the package comes your class. Inside your package is your test case. So a package contains number of classes, number of test cases. So I am relating this to our QA terms so that it will be easily understandable, but I hope I'm not creating a confusion here. So project, next comes your package, which is a collection of test cases which are classes in our automation term. So I create requirement one is invoking a browser. So I will say invoke Chrome browser. This is the class that I created. Class should always have a main. So I create my class and I check this public static void main. Make sure you brush up your Java terms or get a little understanding of each of these Java terms, like a class, object, interface, and a package, inheritance, and that should be good enough for you all to get started. If you have clear understanding of what each term is, you'll be good with your automation. You don't have to get deeper understanding and write a bigger code before getting started with Selenium. You just have to know when to use what, and each term, what is the importance of that. So I will start with a basic program here. Now I don't have Selenium anywhere coming into picture till now. I only told you till now that you have to have Java installed, and also you have to have your Eclipse because you have to write programs. This is the place where you're writing. Now Selenium, how do we add Selenium to this? So Selenium is nothing but number of jar files, Java archive files that are readily available, where you can load them into your project. So for example, automation basics for now doesn't have any Selenium link to it. So when you link Selenium jar files, Java archive files to this project and write your Selenium code, it works correctly. So writing a Selenium code is nothing but Selenium has some built-in interfaces is nothing but collection of methods, lot of functions, like if you want to go somewhere, right, into collection of method is nothing but built-in functions. So as a QA engineer, right, what are the basic functionalities you want. You want to go to a URL, you want to click a URL, you want to verify something. So all these are tied together, already coded and readily available in the Java archive files that Selenium provides us. So we have to link our project to Selenium. So before linking, I want to show how it behaves. So Selenium has an interface called WebDriver. WebDriver is a collection of methods, number of functions that Selenium gave us so that we can do automate our test easily. So WebDriver object is you have to create an object to use any class. So object, creating an object is nothing but if you want to use that particular class, you need to have its instance here in this class. That's the reason I created something called object here. And now Chrome browser is what we are invoking today. Okay, now what happened is it is erroring out. So I have an interface. This is a Selenium interface. Now it says what error, guys, here? If you highlight it, it says that it doesn't understand what is the class Chrome driver. It understood the syntax. This is the Java syntax. It says like object is equal to new class. This is a class name, but it didn't find any class like that. So it is getting confused and throwing an error. Now let us link Selenium to this particular project and see what error we are getting. Downloading Selenium. Selenium download is nothing but downloading those jar files. As I told you, Selenium, click directly, go to a browser and say Selenium download. Okay, you see something called Selenium down. Okay, this is the site which says HQ projects WebDriver. Oh, okay, let's go to download Selenium. Direct link here. Hit the link and it redirected to your direct Selenium site where you have all the drivers and all the supporting softwares readily available. Here if you see the languages here. So these are the languages in which you can use Selenium. All these are supporting files, archive files for that particular language. Here we are using Java, so that's the reason why we have to download this particular jar file. So it is nothing but a zip file which I already downloaded here. So I'm going to show you where it resides in my system. I go to downloads. If you see Selenium Java 3.0.1 is what I see here. Selenium Java 3.0.1. So I'll show you what it contains. If you open this, right, there is something called dot jar. That is what we want. That has all the code that is necessary for you to directly plug into your project that we created in Eclipse and use. That's it. This is the concept of Selenium. So if you come back to your program and link this project with the jar files there, that's it. You will be good. So how do we do that is right click on this project and say build path. You have to add those jar files here. If you say build path, you will have an option called configure build path. Click on this and now it will say add external jars. We already downloaded them into our system, right? So navigate to that particular place. I have it in my downloads folder, Selenium Java 3.0.1. Double click on this. You have something called anything with .jar you have to add. So it got added here. In the same way, go back, open the folder that you see here, double click on that, and now you see number of jar files. Now control A, add everything here to your project and say okay. So now what we have done is we have linked this project, our project, to our Selenium. If you see this reference libraries, you'll find number of jar files here. So everything is been linked. Now try to refresh this. You don't have to do this, but just in case, right, I'll refresh this. And now if I see the error here, if I click on this, see the error, it doesn't say that it is not finding the class. It says import Chrome driver. So the error is changed here. Now the Selenium, as we linked Selenium to our project, the error got changed to import something. So it is suggesting that you already have linked Selenium to your project, so you just have to import this. Double click on this and here is what we have. So it imported the Selenium supporting Chrome driver. And now another error, it says import WebDriver. As it is an interface, we have to make sure that the program understands by importing that particular package. So we imported WebDriver as well as a Chrome driver supporting code. So because we linked our project to the Selenium, it suggested all the things that are necessary. And now we know that we have a browser object here. Our browser object is object here. So let me rename it as D so that it will be easy. So our object, driver object here is D. Now D dot, so object, when you click on, type the object name dot, you see number of things here, right? All these are methods or functions that are readily available. So you have everything readily available here that Selenium gave us. So now what is our requirement, guys? We have to go to a, open a browser and hit an URL, correct? Hit any URL. So I say object name dot, object is something which is being used to, it will allow you to use any of these methods. Whenever you create an object, right, the purpose of creating an object is when you say object name dot, it will pop up all the methods that are there in this Chrome driver class. So these are the functions that you can perform on this Chrome driver. So D dot, I'll say get. See, it suggested me something, right? So I'm getting, give the URL. So for example, I want to go to LinkedIn here. LinkedIn.com. I think I did something wrong here. Okay, let us go to Google easily. Okay. Google.com. Okay. I'll come back to the code and then paste this. Oh, it didn't get copied. Okay. I will type in the URL here. You can copy paste too. And then I'm hitting this google.com and then save this. See what is the requirement? Just first I'm opening a browser and going to the URL, whatever URL I want. So if I run this program, let's see what happens. Okay, it is throwing me an error. It says that the path to the driver executable must be set by the webdriver.chrome driver. So what does this mean is, see, Google Chrome is a third party software. So Selenium doesn't understand how to talk to Google Chrome. For that we need to install a Chrome driver. So for our Selenium program to talk to Chrome browser, you need to have the Chrome driver installed. So how do we do that is directly go to Selenium downloads file again, just like we did for Selenium installation. Selenium downloads, download Selenium, the same page where we have been earlier. So there, if you scroll down, you see something called third party drivers. So third party browser drivers will help your Selenium or your program to talk to the particular browser. So you see something called Google Chrome driver. Install that here into your machine. I already have it readily available, so I'm going to show you where I downloaded it. It's in my documents, softwares, drivers. This is my Chrome driver. So you have to take the path of this, copy the path of this. So you have to tell your program, write your program in such a way, give it a path to the Chrome driver, and that's it. Your program will run in your Chrome driver. So for that, what you have to do is, as it error out, the path to the driver executable must be set. So you have to set the path. There's a syntax for this. System dot set property. You find it here. It's a key value pair. So select system dot set property key, and value is the URL that we have there wherever we installed, right? You just have to copy paste that part, and that is Chrome driver, and this is nothing but you have to copy paste webdriver dot Chrome driver. So just this part I'll write it here, webdriver dot Chrome dot driver. So you gave the key value pair, end it with a semicolon. This is the syntax. So you are telling your program that I have downloaded your driver, and I have saved it here in my system. So make sure you use that. And then why are we doing this is our program has to talk to the Chrome browser, right? So we have to make sure that this particular driver is installed correctly, and we are setting the path to the driver. Now save our program and then try to run this. It should open a Chrome browser. Yeah, you see this popped up. I didn't do anything, it just popped up. Now if I open it, it should open me Google. Now it did open Google, but we really don't know whether the program, until I click that, it didn't show me, right? So I want to verify that whatever is opened is really Google. For that we have another method called object name dot get title. If you see here, right, object name dot get title. So if I say object name dot get title, it should give me the title of Google. So I want to print that onto the console so that I can see that whatever I am hitting is what I am getting. For that you should say system.out.println is a statement which is just like print on the console. So I will open this system.out.println, and then I will say d.getTitle. This as it is I am giving it here, so that it will print whatever is stored in this d.getTitle, right? Whatever the object is storing, it will print it on my console. So I'll save it and then run it, and now it started execution. Okay, now see, it printed me Google. So I know that I'm now confirmed that it did go to the Google page. It did open whatever I gave it here. So in that way, I would suggest everyone to open your own applications and get practice with this for now, so that later on in the coming classes we can learn more. So for example, I want to change this to Facebook and see that it executes correctly. Now I'll say okay. It started. Should print me Facebook here in the console. Yep, look at this Facebook login. So if I really come back here, I see two browsers opened here. It opened me Facebook, it opened me Google. So this is how we can go to number of our URL, like whatever URL you want, just provide it here in this place, and then you can see that you're invoking the browser and your URL will be opened, like your you'll be navigated to whatever page you want. So try this with minimum 5 examples, so that you'll get used to this. The main important concept here is setting up system properties. So this will be like make sure that you will download the correct driver software here. In the same works for Internet Explorer also. Download the IE driver and set its property, system property, and try to invoke IE as well. I hope you understand. Please post if you have any questions underneath. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Happy coding, guys. Talk to you soon.